Hey, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Spokane Steve, and it is time for Strat-O-Matic Baseball. Should be a good one today. Boston at Baltimore. Despite the disparity in the records, Red Sox have a good pitcher going today. Right-hander Jim Lonborg. He'll be opposed by the righty John Miller for Baltimore. A game the Red Sox won in real life 8-2. So, yeah, it may look like a mismatch for Baltimore coming in. But as we know, anything can happen. Frank's pre-play, almost a mirror image of the real-life game. His was 8-3, Orioles victorious. So we'll see what happens. Before we get started, I always like to do this. I don't always print these off, but since yesterday I was a bit confused about how many earned runs to charge Joe Gibbon with. Indeed, it was 2, so that's a good thing for me to keep in mind. If he puts the runner on and then the runner is forced, and the runner who reaches base on the force scores, still charged to that pitcher. I don't know why I never thought of that before. Hello, Kathy. Hello, Franklin. Hello, Mike. Hello, Unmitigated. And all of you Strat fanatics. Hello there, Colin. Yeah, don't worry about it, Colin. Hey, Al, how you doing? Oh, cool. We'll look forward to that. Let's see where we're at here. Let's go ahead and give you the stats on the pitchers so far. Pretty even. Lonborg 2-3 with a 3.90 ERA. This is his 6th start. He's completed one of them. 10 games out of the pen, he had a save. 60 innings of work altogether. Miller, John Miller that is, 3-1, 4.76, 6 starts, and 1 complete game, 34 innings of work. Wow, I am really fighting with it's one of these vision days. Holy crap, everything seems blurry. And another suggestion from Bob Cole, if you look up here at the top, he said maybe I could use that space to include a little who's hot and who's not. Well, who's hot right now? Frank Robinson in his last 10 games, 324, 5 home runs, 11 RBIs. As he maintains his quest of the Triple Crown bid. Wouldn't that be something if he did it in our replay? Pretty hard to replicate. The batting average, I think, will be the hardest part. I would not be surprised to see him leading home runs and RBIs. Here's the lineup for Boston. Joe Foy at leadoff is again at shortstop. I'm shaking my head right now. Jim Gosker is in center. Carl Yastrzemski in left field bats third. Tony Conigliaro in the cleanup spot in right field. George Scott at first base. Dalton Jones will be at third base today. George Smith at second. Mike Ryan will do the catching and hit 8th. And Lonborg, the pitcher, batting 9th. Let's get these lined up here. The umpires for today's game. Bill Haller will call the balls and strikes. Emmett Ashford at first, Johnny Stevens at second, and Bob Stewart down at third. Just under 11,700 in the park for this one. This is the first game of June the 11th, by the way. This was a Saturday night in Baltimore. And again, that just seems to me like a really small crowd for a Saturday night game. Was that a typical crowd in 1966? Maybe it was. Seen a lot of those that, to me, sound low. All right, Miller's finished his warm-ups, and Red Sox will come to bat here as the game begins. First inning, Joe Foy up. Foy hitting .278, 8 home runs, 18 RBIs, and here we go. He's pitch to Miller. It's going to be a 1-7 right-handed. Right in the heart of his good column, he lifts it to center field. Snyder waits on it and puts it away, and we are underway. Here's Jim Gosker. Gosker's been swinging a hot bat lately himself, although his overall numbers don't reflect that. He's still hitting just .193, 3 homers, 10 RBIs. That's a good question, Franklin, always a factor. Would be the weather. Miller's pitch to the left-handed Gosker is going to be a 5-8 left-handed, a grounder to second base X. That's Davey Johnson ranging to his left, 2E25. Here's the play on a 10. It's the E-rain. That's going to be a 4 on a 25, and his throw pulls Powell off the bag. That's going to be an error on Davey Johnson. First error of the game. And let's check the battery. Miller with a very poor hold, +6. Etchebarren, of course, is 0. So Gosker with a 19. He's going to have to be held on at 17. With Yastrzemski at the plate, he's going to roll for the lead. 2 through 5 or 10, he's out on 11. 7, he does not get the lead. 1, though, it's a possible pickoff. Holy cow. Okay, so we've got 1 to 7, he's safe. And he's picked off. So Miller picks Gosker off. Tried to get too big of a lead there. And here's the pitch to Yastrzemski. Yastrzemski, not one of his better seasons in real life, but still he leads the club in batting at .288 with 7 home runs and 26 RBIs. There's a 4-6 left-handed, and he bangs a base hit into right field. So that pickoff looming large now here in the first inning as Yaz reaches. +5, the most it can be, so he's a 20, held on at 18. And with that 8 automatic caught, they're going to let Canigliaro swing away. Tony C hitting .233, 8 home runs, 30 RBIs, which is second on the team. Miller from the stretch. That's going to be a 2-9 right-handed. Grounder to short, plus that's going to be a single. Yastrzemski all the way to third with a runner held. That's a 2-star single. And the Red Sox will have runners at the corners and 2 down. Canigliaro not a threat to run. Welcoming in Ben Witz. Yes, it's pretty clear by now. We're about at the 1/3 mark of the season, but I would have to agree with Frank. It's pretty clear that the Orioles have the best team, and no surprise at all that they were, of course, League World Series champions in real life. So here's George Scott. Canigliaro not being held, of course. Scott, the team's RBI leader with 31. He's hitting .246 for the team, leading 11 home runs. Miller checks the runners. From the stretch, it's a 4-3 right-hander. He lifts it the opposite way into right field. It's an X chance for Frank Robinson, a 2E5. Robinson racing towards the line. Here's the play. On a 5, he makes a sensational running catch to take a base hit away from George Scott and save a run. Oh my goodness, what a play by Frank Robinson. That's going to be a web jam. And that will retire the side. No runs, 2 hits, 2 left on. Big pickoff there. And after half, it's Boston nothing, Baltimore coming to bat. And thank you, Thomas. Also, welcome, Thomas. But thanking Thomas for the attendance update. The average attendance in 66 ranged from 32,000 with LA to just over 7,000 with Washington. 7 teams averaged under 10,000 per game. And as Lonborg gets set to work, let's go ahead and give you the Orioles lineup. Luis Aparicio leads off at shortstop. Russ Snyder is in center field. Frank Robinson, who made that sensational catch to end the top of the inning, is in right. Brooks Robinson in the cleanup spot at third base. Boog Powell will bat fifth at first base. Kurt Bleffery is in left field. Dave Johnson at second. Andy Etchebarren will do the catching. And John Miller hitting ninth. Lonborg about ready to go to work here now. And up steps Aparicio. Batting .256, 2 home runs, 25 RBIs. Lonborg gets the sign from Ryan. Pitches a 3-6 right-handed. It's a routine roller to short. Foy will take it and throw him out. Russ Snyder will be the hitter. Here's Snyder batting just .211, no homers, 5 RBIs. Lonborg into the windup now, and the pitch is a 3-7 right-handed. It's a high fly ball to right field. Canigliaro drifting over and puts it away. Two down, and here's Frank Robinson. .312 on the year, 17 homers, 45 RBIs. All 3 of those stats place him among the league leaders. Lonborg gets the sign. Here's the pitch to Robbie. It's a 3-8 right-handed, and he loses him ball 4. A 2-out walk to Frank Robinson. And let's check Boston's battery. Lonborg with a good -2 hold. Ryan is 0, so Robinson no threat to run, not held at 11. And here's Brooks Robinson. Brooks hitting .278, 6 home runs, 39 RBIs. I'm laughing at Frank's comment. F. Robbie takes his lead. The pitch from the stretch is a 5-4 right-handed. It's a fly to center field X. Tough chance for Gosker, a 3-3. Gosker going back now. Here it is on a 15. Fine running catch by Gosker. Take a possible hit away from Brooks Robinson. Couple of fine plays so far. Baltimore leaves a man, and we're scoreless after an inning. Here's John Miller. Let me see if I can get rid of some of this lag. There we go. Dalton Jones will lead it off for Boston here in the top of the second. Jones, the leading hitter on the team, although not enough at-bats to qualify, of course. .290 in 100 at-bats, just 1 homer. 4 runs batted in. Left-handed hitter. Miller gets the sign, the pitch, a 5-7 left-handed, and he walks him. Lead-off walk to Dalton Jones. +5, 18. He's not a star stealer, however, so no need to hold him on. The 8-9 automatic caught will serve as plenty of a deterrent. And here's George Smith, hitting .258, 3 home runs, 18 RBIs. Miller from the stretch. Comes in there with a 4-5 righty, swung on and missed, strike 3. First strikeout of the ball game, and there's 1 down. And here's the catcher, Mike Ryan. Ryan hitting 172, still looking for his first home run. He may be looking for a while. He does have even though he's a weak, he does have at least some chance of hitting one. Miller out of the stretch. It's a 2-9 right-handed, called strike 3. And the home plate umpire, Bill Haller, rings him up. Back-to-back strikeouts for John Miller, and now here's Lonborg. A right-handed batter. The pitch is a 2-6. Struck him out. And Miller strikes out the side after a leadoff walk to Dalton Jones. Excuse me. All right. Give me 1 second. I'm going to get a new different coaster. This one's sticky. Every time I go to pick up my cup, I'm taking the coaster with it. We'll see how that one works. And we go to the bottom of the second. Boog Powell to start things off. Powell leads the Orioles in batting at .339. He has 14 home runs and 36 RBIs, 29 extra base hits in total. And here's the pitch from Lonborg on a 4-6, swung on and missed, strike 3. Some high cheese there by Lonborg. Powell down on strikes, swinging, and here's Blefary. Kurt Blefary on the year. .289 average, a dozen homers, 36 RBIs. Lonborg gets the sign. Here's the pitch. It's going to be a 6-4 left-handed. It's a grounder to shortstop X. That's going to be a tough chance for Foy. A 588. Hold your breath on this one. It's a 1. That's going to be a base hit. That would have been a base hit off of any shortstop except Aparicio. So Blefary aboard with 1 down, and here's Davy Johnson. Johnson on the season, .265, 3 home runs, 30 RBIs. Lonborg out of the stretch now. Here's the pitch. It's 2-8 right-handed. Grounder to short. That's Foy. He goes to Smith for 1. On to Scott. 6-4-3 double play, and that'll end the second inning. No runs, a hit, and nobody left. We are scoreless after 2. On another beautiful July day here in Spokane. Just absolutely perfect. 84, sunny. Windows are open. Mookie's in his usual spot, enjoying a little breeze through the screen. Third inning, top of the order for Boston. Joe Foy stands in 0 for 1. Miller gets the sign from Echeverry. It's a 4-7 right-handed, and he walks him. Leadoff walk to Foy. Second walk issued by Miller. And the batter will be Jim Gosker. Gosker reached on an error but was picked off in the first inning. Miller from the stretch. The pitch to Gosker is a 2-5 right-handed. He lines one up the middle for a base hit, an open single. Foy rounding. 11. Snyder a +2. 13. With nobody out, they're going to hold him up. .13 for me just isn't good enough to make the first out of the inning at third base. So first and second, nobody out, heart of the order coming up. Another reason why you don't want any outs on the base paths. Yastrzemski will be the batter. Tony C on deck. And hello to Trent Smith. And thank you, Ben, for the census update there. Yeah, that sounds about right. For 1966, I mean 342 today. Huh? I think it was somewhere around 180 when I was born. Runners take their lead. Miller in the full windup now. The pitch to Yaz on a 1-4 right. He gets a high fly ball to deep right field. Frank Robinson headed back at the track, at the wall. It's off the wall. An easy double for Yastrzemski. Foy can walk home. They might send Gosker. 14 plus 1 for the arm, 15. They're going to send him. And Baltimore's going to cut that off and hold Yastrzemski to a double. A 2-run double for Yastrzemski. Orioles believe they can score. There's no reason to let Yastrzemski get to third base with nobody out. So a 2-run double for Carl Yastrzemski. RBIs 27 and 28 on the year. Hello, Dan Ford. He comes in with a zinger as usual. Boy, I'll tell you what, every time I go out anywhere in Spokane, I have to admit I kind of am thinking the same thing. I know that's terrible, right? Here's Canigliaro now, runner in scoring position. Tony singled in the first. Miller checks the sign. Here's the pitch to Tony. It's a 2-9 right-handed. Grounded to short. Aparicio gloves it. Looks the runner back and throws him out. First out of the inning. And the hitter will be George Scott. Scott 0 for 1. Miller gets his sign. There's the pitch. It's a 3-8 right-handed. That's driven high and deep to left. Bluffery going back at the track, at the wall. It's gone. Home run, George Scott. And Boston, with a 4-run third, take a 4-0 lead. A 4-run third so far, I should say, for George Scott. That's his 12th home run of the year. That puts him up there in the league leaders department. Miller, noticeably upset with himself. Andy Etchebarren is going to head out there and have a little chat with him. I'll tell you what, I can certainly remember I never gave any thought to having a ticket in advance, right? You just, at the last minute, spur of the moment thing, well, let's go to the game. You could always get a seat. Even in Dodger Stadium, most of the time, you could always get a bleacher seat. Dalton Jones walked his first time up. Miller ready to work. It's a 5-9 left-handed, swung on and missed, strike 3. Down goes Jones. That's the second out of the inning. And here is George Smith. Smith struck out in the second. The pitch from Miller. 5-8 right-handed, grounder to second base X. Johnson will be tested again, 2E25. Here's the play on an 8. It's the E range. It's the 4 on a 25, and that's going to be the second error of the ball game for Davy Johnson. So a little sloppy game defensively so far for Baltimore, a little uncharacteristic of them. That'll get Mike Ryan to the plate. Miller checks the runner, and he comes in with a 4-2 right-handed. It's a grounder to first base X. That's going to be Boog Powell, 317. And here's the play on a 7, E-range. It's an 8 on a 17, and Powell makes the play. Tosses to Miller covering, and that will retire the side 3-1X. 4 big ones for the Red Sox, however. On 3 hits, they leave 1, and they take a 4-0 lead to the bottom of the 3rd. Yeah, and in that huge park, right, Thomas? So Lonborg takes the mound, staked to a 4-run lead here. Etchebarren, Miller, and Aparicio do. Etchebarren on the year, 276 average, 6 home runs, 22 RBIs. Lonborg into the windup. Pitches a 5-2 righty, and just a bit inside, he takes the walk. Leadoff walk to Etchebarren. Second walk issued by Lonborg today. And here's Miller, a right-handed hitter. B bunter. Infield Indies a C, and he lays it down. 3C, and he beats out the bunt. How about that? It's going to be a bunt single for John Miller. And the first 2 batters reach here in the bottom of the 3rd, and here come the Birds. First and second, nobody out, and the top of the order coming up. Lonborg checks the runner. Pitch to Aparicio on a 2-5 righty. He lines out into right field for a base hit. They're waving Etchebarren in. He will score. All the way to 3rd goes John Miller, and it's a 4-1 game. Aparicio 15 first. They're going to hold him on at 13 with Russ Snyder coming to bat. Exactly, Ben. Technically, that is a strike. I personally am all for it. As long as they get it right. Runner being held, runners at the corners. Lonborg out of the stretch. The pitch to Snyder is a 1-4 right-handed grounder to the pitcher. He turns around and goes down to Foy for 1, on to first, not in time, and a run will score. Aparicio's forced. Miller comes in to score, and it's a 2-run game. 4-2, Boston. That's the first out of the inning, and up steps Frank Robinson. Well, yes, Frank, but on the other hand, as I've maintained for decades, really, all of the rule changes have helped the batter. So I would be surprised if they even let that happen, since their financial agenda is obviously to score a lot of runs to put butts in the seats. If it's going to affect anybody, it's not going to be Juan Soto. I'll tell you that right now. The pitch to Frank Robinson. That's going to be a 6-7 right-hander. It's a grounder to second base X. Tough chance for Smith, a 228. Smith to his left. Here's the play. It's an E-range play on an 11. It's a roll of a 10 on a 28. He makes the play to Foy for 1, to Scott, double play. What a play by George Smith. 4-6-3X. And that ends the inning. So the Orioles settle for 2 on 2 hits, nobody left, and after 3, it's 4-2 Boston. I watched a little bit of it, bits and pieces. I saw one challenge play, and they got it right, in my opinion. And the other part, the only other inning I saw, I said, I swear this is true, I called Alonso's home run. Actually, I called runs for the NL as soon as they brought Bubic into the game. And I texted it to my friend Eric, and I said, Bubic, half of 3 months does not make a season, much less an all-star. Oh, he's a pretty good pitcher, don't get me wrong. Not an all-star. We go to the 4th inning. Lonborg will lead it off. He's a right-handed batter. The pitch from John Miller's a 6'8" righty. He lifts it to center field. Snyder is right there to make the catch. 1 away. Here's Joe Foy. Miller into the windup now. The pitch is a 5'9" righty. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. That's strikeout number 5 now for John Miller. And with 2 outs, the batter will be Gosker. Standing in from the left side as Miller gets the sign. Here's the pitch to Gosker. On a 1-7, he walks him. A 2-out walk to Gosker. I don't think he's going to be trying for the lead. 13-18, they're going to hold him on anyway. He's held at 16. And you know what? He is going to try for it. 2 through 5-10, he's out on an 11. 7, he does not get the lead. And here's the next pitch to Yaz. 5'11" left-handed, fly ball to left field X. That's Bleffery. Bleffery on his horse. 4E7, and here's the play on an 8 error range, a 10 on an E7, and a nice running catch by Kurt Bleffery to retire the side. So Yaz hit it well, but flies out to his opposite number. That ends the top of the 4th. No runs, no hits, 1 left. I'm not sure which one is better, honestly. I certainly understand they don't want an all-star game going deep into extra innings. Nobody wants their pitchers overused in an all-star game. Right or wrong, that's a fact. Here's Lonborg now. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Red Sox lead at 4-2. Brooks Robinson will start it off. Lonborg with the pitch. It's a 1-2, and he walks him. Third walk issued by Lonborg now. It's a leadoff walk to Brooks Robinson. And here comes the Boog Powell. Powell struck out in the second. Lonborg working from a stretch. Here's the pitch on a 1-8 right-handed. Called strike three. Powell down on strikes for the second time today. As Haller rings him up. Yeah, well, I mean, it's just natural to love the game that you enjoyed as a kid. Well, that's why I love playing it. Well said, Dan. Yeah, it's more of a ceremony than a game. Diaz, yeah, I don't know what happened to him. I was fortunate enough to enjoy his amazing year with the Mariners. Doesn't seem like he's really had it since then. I mean, he hasn't been bad, he just hasn't been as good. Here's Bluffering, runner at first, one down. Singled in the second, Lonborg out of the stretch. Going to be a 5-6 left-handed, flight of straightaway center. Gosker backing up a bit and pulls it in. And here's Davey Johnson. Lonborg, throw over to first. Brooks back to the bag. Now the pitch to Davey. That's going to be a 3-7 righty. Called strike three, and that'll do it. That's 3 strikeouts for Lonborg now, and that ends the fourth. We go to the fifth. Boston 4, Baltimore 2. I didn't see it live, but I did see the YouTube whatever. I saw a video replay of Kershaw's mic'd 2/3 of an inning. I enjoyed his banter with John Smoltz. I thought that was enjoyable. He asked Smoltz, for those who didn't see it, he asked Smoltz, "What should I throw here, Smoltzy? What do you want?" And Smoltz says, "Cutter inside." And Kershaw says, I don't have a cutter, Smoltzy." Smoltz said, "Slider." Fifth inning in a 4-2 game, Boston leading. Canigliaro, Scott, and Jones. Miller gets the sign from Echebarren. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a 6-7 right-handed grounder to third base. Single on a 1. Fielded by Brooks Robinson, who throws him out, and there's one away. Here's George Scott now with a big 2-run homer his last time up. He's 1 for 2. Miller's pitch on a 1-7 righty, a grounder to short. Routine for Aparicio, wings it over to Powell, and there's 2 away. That'll bring up the third baseman, Dalton Jones. Miller gets the sign from Echebarren. That's a 1-6, grounder to first base. Powell has it, flips to Miller covering, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for John Miller. Yeah, that's true. I was going to mention that, frankly. At least they were wearing their own uniform. So, maybe they're listening. I also liked it where he said, "I'm glad he didn't swing it though." Halfway through, it's 4-2 Boston. It'll be Etchebarren. What to do with Miller here? I'll throw it out to the group. Would you bat for Miller in the 5th? Seems a tad early. He is rated 6 for starter endurance. Etchebarren, who walked in the 3rd, will lead things off. Lonborg gets the sign from Ryan. Here's the windup and the pitch. It's a 3-5, called strike 3. 4th K for Lonborg, 3 of them uncalled strikes. One away, and the pitcher Miller due up. I'm waiting for here we go. I got some opinions now. That's what I'm waiting for. Looks like the overwhelming opinion seems to side with me, and that it's too early to hit for the starter. So he's going to bat. It's going to be a 2-6, and he strikes out. That's 5 Ks for Lonborg now, 4 in the last 2 frames, and with 2 down, here's Aparicio. The windup and the pitch on a 3-2 grounder back to Lonborg, knocks it down, picks it up, and tosses it over to Scott, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Jim Lonborg. 5 innings played, it is 4-2 Red Sox. 7th inning brawl. Perhaps they should just take a cue from me and show cat videos on the, on the 7th inning stretch. Or hell, with cat and dog videos. Let's not discriminate. All animals shall be included. I entered him in this calendar contest on some goofy thing I saw on Facebook. I don't even know if it's real or not. Figured, why not? I'll tell you what, if they put Mookie on a calendar, I will definitely let you guys know. I used one of the car shots where he's sitting in that car seat, you know, the one that suction cups onto the passenger window. I'm guessing they may not get very many of cats riding in cars. Oh, goodness, no, Ben. I wouldn't give them any financial information. Bottom of the order for the Sox in the 6th. George Smith, 0 for 2, will lead it off. Miller, his first inning of potential fatigue as he goes into the windup. Here's the pitch to Smith now. It's a 6-11 righty, a grounder to the pitcher X. Miller, a fine defensive pitcher. 2-0. Here's the play. On a 9, that's a 6. Either way, it's the error range, and Miller makes the play and throws him out. 1-3X. Smith retired, and here's Ryan. Miller gets the sign. The pitch to Ryan on a 1-3 right-handed. He pops him up on the right side. Dave Johnson will make the catch, and 2 quick outs for John Miller. That'll bring up the pitcher, Lonborg. And here's the pitch. It's a 4-4 right-handed. Grounder to third X. That's where Brooks Robinson is playing. 113 on an 18. He makes a fine play at the line, long throw in time, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for John Miller. 5-3X, side retired. Has it been a month already, Ben? Oh my goodness. And I thank you once again. If you don't know what he's talking about, I started a Patreon. I'm not gonna plug it, but you know what it is. It's there. Orioles come to bat in the bottom of the 6th. Russ Snyder will start things off. He's 0 for 2 today. Lonborg into the windup. Pitch to Snyder's a 3-8 right-handed. Pop up on the right side. Scott's going to take that one. And there's one down. That's okay, Frank. I'm sure you must have someone else a little younger you could leave it to. Robinson 0 for 1 with a walk as Lonborg goes into the windup. That's a 3-11 righty, and he walks again. Lonborg being very careful with Frank Robinson today, and can you blame him? Here's Brooks 0 for 1 with a walk. Lonborg working from the stretch. The pitch is a 6-8 right-handed. He lifts it to straightaway center. Gosker drifting over and puts it away. Retreating to first, Frank Robinson. And with 2 down, it will be up to Boog Powell. Powell struck out twice. Could tie it with a home run. And here comes the pitch. It's going to be a 6-6 left-handed. Hard smash to first. Scott has it. He'll take it himself. And that will retire the side. No runs, no hits, 1 left on. Through 6, it's Boston 4, Baltimore 2. No all the scoring in the 3rd. No scoring since. Oh, Dad, you got some good ones today, my friend. That's all you had to say was competitive eating. I mean, that makes me laugh all by itself. John Miller headed into his 2nd endurance inning here. Top of the order for Boston. Foy 0 for 2 with a walk. Miller gets the sign. Here's the windup, and the pitch is a 6-5 right-handed. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Let's count him up now. He struck out the side in the 2nd. That's 4, 5. That's 6 strikeouts now for Miller. That'll bring up Jim Gosker. Gosker 1 for 2 with a walk. Miller studying the signs. Now the windup, the pitch to Gosker on a 3-2 righty. A liner right into the glove of Powell. He hit that one right on the button, but right at Boog Powell. It was a low max, all right. In this case, of course, the max is 1. And with 2 outs, Carl Yastrzemski will come to bat. Yes, 2 for 3 today. Drove in 2 of the Red Sox runs with a double in the 3rd. Miller getting the sign. Pitch to Yaz on a 1-4 right. He gets a high fly ball to deep right field. Frank Robinson back at the track, at the wall. It's gone. Carl Yastrzemski with his 3rd hit of the day, and it's a home run. And that makes the score 5-2. For Yaz, that's his 8th home run of the season. Miller may be running out of steam here in the 7th. He'll face Canigliaro. Boy, they're rare, Dan. Let me tell you that. Triple plays, that is. Miller's pitch to Tony C. is going to be a 2-5 right-handed to grounder to third base, single to 5. That's going to be a single into left field. Action now in the Baltimore pen. Mo Drabowski throwing. One more hitter walk will fatigue John Miller. Thank you, Ben. Yes, needs a triple now for the cycle. The hardest one to get, of course, but still, it's fun. I don't think I've ever had a cycle. Only on the 365 online game, because I've played so many thousands of games there. But you don't actually play the games, of course. You set your tendencies, and Strat-O-Matic runs the games. Tony Conigliaro 1 for 3, but it was also a big one, a 2-run homer in that 4-run fourth. Miller on the ropes here as he comes into Tony C with a 1-9 right-handed. He lifts it to left field, backing up his bluffery with room, and he pulls it in to retire the side. Insurance run for the Red Sox on the Carl Yastrzemski home run. And as we stretch, it's 5-2 Red Sox. And thanks to Ben for that factoid. 2 triple plays in all of 2024, and we've already had 2 this season. So here we are. We're going to stretch, of course. That means 2 things. Nothing surprising. Coffee and Mookie. Yes, and for that matter, as far as Mookie goes, nothing surprising either, as he's in his usual location of late. There he is. Yes, sirree. We're going to have to go around and roust him, I guess. What's up there, Mookie? Say hello. Oh, there you go. Just gets up long enough to stretch. Hi, buddy. Hi, buddy. What a life, huh? Exactly. Yeah. Perfect timing on the stretch, Mook. Yeah, I'll tell you, it's so nice here today. I'm going to have to get outside for a bit after this game. At least go for a walk or something. Okay. This new phone does not clamp in as easily as the smaller old phone did. Schaefer? Oh no, I was thinking to Schmitz. I'm sorry. Schaefer might be okay. When I was living in Northern Cal for a while, Grass Valley to be precise, Joel knows where that is for sure. Working at this small mom and pop shop, the cheapest beer we had was Schmidt, and we sold a lot of it. I used to call it shit, and believe me, that's not far off. Right, Colin? He honored us with his stretch. We go to the bottom of the 7th, returning to this ball game. Red Sox with a 3-run lead now. The Orioles will send Blefary, Johnson, and Etchebarren into the plate here against Jim Lonborg, who will be entering his first endurance inning. Blefary 1 for 2. Lonborg with the windup on the pitch. It's a 1-6 right-handed, and he walks him. Oh, those base on balls. The leadoff walk. That's the 5th walk now issued by Lonborg. And that'll bring up the second baseman, Davy Johnson. Johnson 0 for 2. Don McMahon takes off the jacket in the Boston pen, and here's Davy Johnson. Lonborg from the stretch. It's a 3-6 right-handed. Liner to second. Single to 4. That's going to be caught by Smith. Throws to first. Blefary back to the bag in time. Here's Etchebarren now, 0 for 1 with a strikeout and a walk. Lonborg from the stretch. It's a 3-4 righty. It's a grounder to first. Single to 2. It is grabbed by Scott, who goes down to Foy for the force, and that's all they'll get. Blefary forced, and now we will have a pinch hitter. So that'll end the day for Miller. Miller, 7 innings. 2, 5, 7 hits, 5 runs. He walked 2, 3. Struck out 6. Left, right. A lot of righties coming up. It will be Drabowski. And let's see who the pinch hitter is going to be with the runner on first and 2 away. They'd like to take an all or nothing shot here. Do we have anybody who could do that? Bowens, perhaps. A lot of guys with weak power, W power on this bench. It's going to be Sam Bowens trying to catch lightning in a bottle. Bowens just 7 for 56 so far. He does have a home run. Lonborg studying the signs. Here's the pitch from the stretch. It's a 2-9 right-handed called. Strike 3, and that'll end the 7th. No runs, no hits, 1 left on. And we're going to need a new pitcher here for the Orioles as we go to the 8th. That's going to be Grabowski. Grabowski, fantastic numbers so far. 15 appearances, 1-0 with a 1.63 ERA in 28 innings of work. Only 17 hits allowed with 30 strikeouts. Scott made the last out, so Dalton Jones will lead things off. 0 for 2 with a walk. Grabowski into the windup. That's a 1-9 right-handed, and that's a high fly ball to deep right field. Robinson backing up at the track, at the wall. It's off the wall. Jones headed to second. He'll round and hold there with a stand-up double. A leadoff double by Dalton Jones. George Smith, 0 for 3, steps to the plate. Grabowski checks the runner. Here's the windup and the pitch. It's a 3-7 righty. Grounder to short. Aparicio's got it. Looks him back and throws to Powell for the out. Here's the catcher, Mike Ryan. Grabowski's pitch is a 5-10 right-handed. It's a grounder to short X. That's the Gold Glover, Aparicio, 118. Charging the slow roller on a 2. He makes an incredible play to Johnson for 1. On to first, double play. And Aparicio not only robs Ryan of a base hit, he turns it into a double play. That's the play of the ball game, and it's most definitely a web jam. No, it's not. There's a runner on second. God bless. I'm sorry. But it is a web jam. And the runner will hold. That brings up Lonborg. Okay, what to do here? He's got a 3-run lead. Two away. But there's a runner in scoring position. I'm going to let him hit. Grabowski with a 4-6 righty, swung on and missed, strike 3. Not surprisingly, Lonborg flailing at 3 Grabowski fastballs, and that'll wrap up the top of the 8th. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. Let's check the Boston defense now. For sure, Foy has to get off of shortstop, so he's going to move to third base. Where he's a 425. He'll lead off the 9th. Jones will come out. And Petrocelli's going to come in. He'll play shortstop. Where is Jones? There he is. He is 2E38 at short. And a 1 through 11 base runner. I would be too, Frank. You guys have seen me do it. I just did it yesterday with Barton, right? Just assuming against the lefty, he's got to have end power. Well, he didn't. I try to not do that, but it happens. At least I caught it. Try not to assume, that is. Okay, bottom of the 8th inning, 5-2 Boston. Top of the order for the Orioles. Aparicio 1 for 3 today. Here's the pitch from Lonborg. It's a 2-5 right-handed. He bangs that one into right field for a base hit. Leadoff single for Aparicio. Just the 4th Baltimore hit of the day, and they're all singles. -2, 15. Held on at 13, and the batter is Snyder. Hello, Captain Carl. Welcome in, welcome in. Snyder 0 for 3 as Lonborg comes set from the stretch now. It's going to be a 5-10 left-handed. Right in betweener there, it's going to be the catcher's card X. That's Ryan, of course. 2E3, and here's the play. On a 15, that's going to be a pass ball followed by a foul out. So the pass ball charge to Ryan allows Aparicio to get to second base. Snyder promptly fouls out to the catcher, and with one away, Frank Robinson is the hitter. Robbie 0 for 1, walked twice. Lonborg studying the signs. Here's the windup and the pitch. That's a 2-4 righty. Comebacker to Lonborg. Looks the runner back and throws him out. Here's Brooks now, 0 for 2 with a walk. Lonborg a check of the runner. The windup, the pitch. 4-6 righty, swung on and missed, strike 3. Lonborg now just 3 outs away from a complete game. For the Orioles, no runs, a hit, 1 left, and through 8 it's still 5-2. Whoops, got to mark that. Thank you, Ben. Thank you. Yes, I might have missed that on the manual entry without that. Well, probably not, because it was a pass ball. You heard what? You heard what on Spokane Steve Radio? Top of the 9th, top of the order for the Red Sox. Joe Foy to start it off. Walked, flew to center, and struck out twice. Drabowski into the windup. The pitch to Foy is a 6-4 right-handed. A grounder to third base X. It's a hot shot to third. 1E13 Brooks Robinson. Here's the play on an 18. He makes a fine play and throws him out. 5-3X. And here's Gosker, 1 for 3 with a walk today. Drabowski with the windup and the pitch on a 5-6 lefty, swung on and missed, strike 3. Second K for Mo. And here's Yastrzemski. Yastrzemski needing a triple for the cycle. Let's see if he even has a chance. Nothing on his card. He has a slight chance in the fours column on Drabowski's card, and that's about it. And here's the pitch to Yaz. It's a 6-3 left-handed, a grounder to the pitcher X. Drabowski a 2E0. This should do it. On a 10 error range, and Drabowski makes the play to retire the side. 1-3X, 1-2-3 goes Boston in the 9th. And we head to the bottom of the 9th. Boston with a 3-run lead. McMahon begins to throw again in the pen. Lonborg taking the mound. And it's good a time as any to thank everybody once again for watching. I do appreciate it, more than you know. God, I look forward to these games. It would be a long day without these games to break it up. Dan is on fire today, okay? That's all I'm gonna say. That's also possible, man. It's Powell, Bluffery, and Johnson. Lonborg trying to go the distance. Powell 0 for 3, struck out twice. Lonborg gets the sign from Ryan. Here's the windup and the pitch. It's a 3-8 right-handed, and he hits it the other way. It's going to drop in front of Yastrzemski and left for a base hit. And the leadoff man reaches. That's going to bring up Bluffery. Bluffery 1 for 2 with a walk. Lonborg from the stretch. Here's the pitch to Bluffery. It's a 6-8 left-handed. Fly to left field. This one's deep enough that Yaz barely has to move, and he puts it away. That'll bring up Davy Johnson, who's 0 for 3 today. Powell at first, staying pretty close to the bag. Lonborg a glance over there. Now out of the stretch. The pitch to Johnson, a 3-4 righty. He lifts it the other way to right. Canigliaro backing up a bit and makes the catch. And the Orioles are down to their last out in the form of Andy Etchebarren. Etchebarren 0 for 2 with a walk today. Lonborg gets the sign. Deep breath now. From the stretch. 4-10 right-handed. It's a high pop to shallow center. Gosker jogging in under it, waiting for it, and that's the ball game. 5-2 the final. Red Sox win it, snapping the Orioles' modest 2-game winning streak and ending their own 2-game losing streak. Now it's pretty tough for player of the game, isn't it? Lonborg with the win squares his record at 3-3. A 5-hitter, all singles. He did walk a few, that's for sure. 3, 4, 5 walks. And he struck out 3, 5, 6. Lonborg or Yastrzemski. Two innings for Grabowski. John Miller takes the loss. He's 3-2 now. Grabowski gave up 1 hit, no runs, no walks, and struck out a pair. Two votes for Yaz already. Did I miss one, Ben? You know what? I'm not even going to count him. I'm going to take your word for it. Fine game for Lonborg, but I think the player of the game has to be Yaz. An attaboy to Lonborg. Hello, John, and thank you for confirming. Well said, Ben, and I agree. I tend to automatically favor the pitchers that throw the complete game. Yeah, and exactly. The when I enter it, it'll get it right. Well, let's do the totals. Red Sox win it with 5 runs on 8 hits, no errors. Orioles 2 runs, 5 hits, and an uncharacteristic 2 errors. Player of the game is Carl Yastrzemski, a single, a double, a home run, 3 RBIs, 2 runs scored. And that's a wrap. Let's take a look ahead on the schedule here real quick, see what we got tomorrow. It's going to be Kansas City at California. Ralph Terry for the Athletics, Jim McLaughlin for the Angels. 1:30/4:30. Well, thanks for dropping in, John. Thank you, everybody, for watching. I think I'm going to roll out of here and get some lunch and then get outside and enjoy some of this beautiful weather. So once again, thank you, everyone, for being with me here today. Hopefully see you all tomorrow. And I wish you all a very pleasant good evening. Take care, everybody. Bye for now.